out and about with rails fence. Lucky they've got concrete godfathers on the other side. I've just been able to put some bolts through and some wide penny washers. But you can see how rotten this stuff is. Look, a woodworm. It's out of focus. Pretty bad, isn't it? Anyway, I've temporarily tacked this up against that because you've got little ones next door, and they like to be out in the garden, especially when it's summer. So we have to do bits as and when they're asleep or they're at nursery. And I think they're just about waking up again now, so they will probably want to come out in the garden. So I've just got to put a sort of barricade up. This is what I'm up against. My dad put these slabs in, and of course they're pushing against the fence, so I'm going to have to dig all of this out. But what makes it particularly difficult is when you've got huge shrubs like this, and I think there's a stump somewhere down there, an old tree. That's going to be really fun to get in there. I have a feeling I'm going to have to buy a pickaxe because I haven't got one. It's another thing to buy, isn't it? Yeah, but anyway, we're cracking on. I've stopped talking because the blackbird sounds great. 2 sections of fence now. But now we're up to these slabs, and I really want to get another section in. So the rest of this afternoon I'm going to start chipping away at this with a pickaxe. Because right in there, I don't know if you can see that, there's a big tree stump. I'm not looking forward to that. This was very typical of my dad. He used to do this. Prop up slabs. I don't know where he got the idea from. And then bank his soil against it. But of course, over time, if it's not the soil, it's the roots that push them over. And now, of course, they're over the boundary line. So they've got to come out somehow. So that's going to be fun. So I'm going to have to chip that away. But I don't think I want to do that right now. I don't know, maybe later this evening. Anyway, over here, got a massive pile of wood. That is the old fence, and we shall burn that. Incidentally, these bamboos, you probably think, how did you move those, Ralph? Because I tell you what, they are heavy. I'll tell you how I did it. See that round piece of wood? I was thinking, how did the Egyptians move those big stones? I think they were chair legs, that's what they were, off an old chair. Had a couple of them. Managed to leave at one end of the pot with a spade, put one under, and they roll quite easy. Just pulled them out. Got the same problem putting them back though. Normally when you do this kind of fencing, you use galvanised nails, but I've not. I've used deck screws. Really, because hitting it with a hammer just seems to make everything else loose that you've already done. So that's hence why I've used deck screws. But you know, meticulous. Everything checks out with the level. Kept the height consistent. The garden is going up slightly. So of course this panel, although it looks square, isn't square. And that's so it'll fit the garden. Yeah. But yes, I shall keep these bamboos. I've changed my mind. They look great against this fencing. So, and it does provide a sort of screen. So I will push those back at some point. I have to say it's a very peaceful garden, and yeah, I know it looks overgrown, but it's a bit like Mr. McGregor's garden. And up on the fence there, I don't know if you can see it, oh, look, a couple of blackbirds not getting on too well, 2 male ones, fighting over territory. Here we go. Yeah. There's a pigeon nesting in that tree next door. My neighbour pointed it out to me. I've got to start getting through this lot at some point. Yeah, it's a difficult one. There's this, like I say, there's this huge bed that my father put in, and really, I don't know, I'd rather it was gone. It's just too big. So that means a digger and a skip, doesn't it? That'd fill a skip, easy. So that's 250 quid, is it, just to get rid of that? Plus the work. Yeah, overall that bamboo looks alright, doesn't it? It does break up the garden somewhat. Yeah. Anyway, that's the back of Ralph's house. And you can see now this conservatory that's been there since probably the 1930s, and it does leak, and the flashing on it is really ugly. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge to sort that out. What I'm going to do is demolish that wall and the windows above it. Well, take the roof off obviously, but demolish that and bring it out, because I'm allowed to come out 3 metres before I need planning permission. And rather than have a glass roof, I'll have a tiled or felted roof, because it just gets too hot in there. It's ridiculous. You couldn't even use it as a greenhouse. 150 degrees it got in there last summer. Anyway, shall we have a look at the fish while we're here? Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.